Well, good morning everybody. It's Friday the 24th of May. Weather's still very cold here at Suckley. The plants are still maybe a couple of weeks behind where they should be at this time of year. But from when we started doing these blogs, just over a month ago, you can see there's been quite a difference and a change. The plants at that time were just coming through the ground, the shoots were just coming through the ground. And you can see now some of these Pilgrim on the wires here are getting up towards halfway. Maybe a third. They're a little bit stronger down in the bottom of the hop yard, down towards the picking shed there. But the growers have still got plenty of work on at this time of year. I know you can just pick up on the ground there. There's some little bits of fertiliser that have been put on the last couple of days, just to encourage the plants on a little bit. You can see the great work that the tyres have done by getting the strings covered with 2 or 3 binds per string. And the rest of the plant is now spreading out over the ground and won't grow up those strings. That will be, as we said before, that will be sprayed off just to get rid of any chance of pest or disease in the bottom there. So coldish day. What are we today? About 8-9 degrees centigrade at the moment. It's 6:45 in the morning, but it's still quite chilly. We've had 1 or 2 warm days, but not anything to write home about. So they're still a little bit behind. I don't know whether you can hear inside the tree there. There's a little hole there, and we can hear what we think is some woodpecker chicks in there. They've hatched out in the last few days, and no doubt Mum and Dad are keeping them well fed. But another thing that we see as we're walking around on our morning walks. Just an update on the target here. You can see just a little bit of yellowness getting on the top of those plants now. They're not as green as the base of the plant, and I think this is probably why Richard's been through and put some fertiliser on just to pet them up a bit, keep them going. But the cold weather isn't really helping at all. It's not a worry to the growers. The growers are relatively relaxed about it, but another week or 2 of this and could start getting a little bit more worried. Talking to some growers in Germany yesterday, and they were saying that they're having lots of English weather, plenty of rain and quite cool. And their plants are 7 to 10 days behind as well, so things aren't growing as quickly as they normally would at this time of year. But we could do with some warm weather soon, but the growers are hoping that it's not too long before that arrives. And you can see next to the target here, this was a whole yard of target up until about 3 or 4 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago I guess, and it's been fallow for a couple of years. But the ground is being prepared that for in June, sometime in June, conditions allowing, we will start to get these planted up with some Bramling Cross, and hopefully they'll have a nice warm summer, wet summer to get them going, give them a bit of a good start so that we'll get some crops off those in maybe September 2015. Another interesting plant here on the farm is this one, who throws up like an albino coloured plant, a yellow coloured leaf plant. And there was one in here in this particular yard of Pilgrim last year as well. I can't remember this exact spot. It seems to me as though it's moved a little bit, but that would be very strange. But you can see the plant for some reason has thrown some different colours to the rest of the plants, but hopefully we don't get too many of those. And again, here we are in the Dabinet cider apples, Dabinet. This time last year these were in full bloom, an absolute picture. So this cold weather has really held them back, and they're not looking quite as good, but I'm sure they'll come, given a couple of warm days, they'll come good and have some nice pictures of the blossom out for you. We're now at the top of the Goldings patch. So the Goldings are looking very well. They're all very uniform, growing at the same speed, looking very nice. Again, you can just see that little hint of yellow in the leaf there. That could be from the cold, could be from the lack of nutrients. And again, Richard's been through here with the fertiliser to just encourage them on a bit. So hopefully, it's just starting to spit with rain here now, but hopefully this will not be too bad, and by the weekend, there's another bank holiday coming up this weekend, hopefully we'll get some nice growth coming over there and some sunshine. Well, Dexter and I are almost at the end of our morning walk this morning. For those of you who have been watching the video blogs, you'll recognise this patch here. This is where the pole broke earlier in the season, a couple of 3 weeks ago. You can see that's now back up, and these sovereign plants are growing nicely again on there. There's a couple of gaps in there which I think were there before the post went down anyway. Those will probably be gapped up next season with some new plants. But in the sovereign here, they're growing very well. They're looking good, growing up the vines quite strongly. We also have just a little bit further down here some of the Endeavour plants that were planted a couple of seasons ago, probably 3 seasons ago now actually, and the new variety which has been developed by Peter Darby down at Y College, Y Hops Limited now as it is. But you can just see the difference between the 2 rows there, the Sovereign on the right and the Endeavour on the left. Sovereign much stronger growth there, obviously an earlier plant. But these Endeavour all here, they're not, there's nothing missing here, but just look at the number of shoots that are coming off these plants. They're going to be quite strong, I think, once they get going. Need a bit of sunshine, and the Endeavour has a little bit of American parentage in it, and so that's probably what's holding it back a little bit. The American plants tend to like the warmer conditions. The growth is encouraged by the heat, and so this is why it's probably just a little bit behind these sovereign.